World Economic Depression, 1929 to 1935. The World Economic Depression refers to the global economic meltdown or crisis that was characterized by surplus in agriculture output, especially in North America, closure of industries and banking systems, mass unemployment, financial crisis, deflation, and low purchasing power. I can tell you after the First World War, there was what we call World Economic Depression. That's why Mahajan, one of the lead historians, says in his book that when you enter the restaurant and you ask for tea, if you are drinking slowly, by the time you finish the tea, the price had increased. So you had to hurry, my friend, because they could tell you the price has changed. Because prices were changing at a very high level. So our area of argument, we must understand that the depression started from the Canadian agriculture sector, then spread to other sectors and covered the whole world. So we are challenging minds. What led to the economic depression? Number one, overproduction and capitalism led to the economic depression. What happened? After the First World War, many industries collapsed. Many industries did what? Collapse. So those industrial owners who still had the industries, what they did, they overproduced. They produced so many things, expecting to sell. But what happened? People didn't have money. The purchasing power was low. Mind you, they had used so many workers to produce goods, but people did not buy. What happened? The goods were destroyed. So what they did, they had to scrap off some workers. Because they had used so many workers to produce so many what? Goods, and people didn't buy. They had to scrap off some workers. The workers became unemployed, and unemployment is one of the characteristics of the economic what? Depression. Another key point, persistent income inequality and massive poverty in Europe. We believe by this time, the persistent income inequality, where some people were too rich, others were too poor. So by this, it is this that led to the economic depression, because it led to massive poverty. As the massive poverty rose up, people didn't have money to use to start up businesses. And this meant that many people were unemployed, which led to the economic depression, which was a situation characterized by low levels of employment, high levels of unemployment, high levels of poverty. Suffering was the order of the day. Then, the First World War also led to the economic depression. How? In the way that the First World War led to the death of productive people. As productive people were killed, production had to decrease in Europe, because many productive people were what? Were killed. Even industries collapsed as a result of the First World War. This meant that people became unemployed, because industries had what? Collapsed. And this led to the economic depression. Another area of argument, the payment of the war reparations that was imposed on Germany. We believe by this time, after the First World War, Germany was told to pay 6.6 billion pounds. I can tell you, this was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. As Germany was supposed to pay a lot of money, it had to get some loans from USA to pay part of the what? The money. As it got loans from USA, the money Germany would have used to build the economy at home, it was busy paying back the what? The loans. And this meant by this time that the Germans had to suffer with the high levels of unemployment, because the government didn't have money to boost the economy at home, as it was very busy paying back the what? The loans. Then, American loan scheme. American loan what? It is said after the First World War, many countries were affected. But of course, America was not so much what? Affected. So America had what we call the loan scheme. It started giving countries loans to boost their what? Economies. But the problem was one. It put high-level interest. High-level what? Interest on the loans. Countries had to pay so many interest. So by this, instead of building their economies, they were busy paying back the what? The debts with a high-level interest. And this caused the economic crisis in their what? In their countries. Then the gold standard system. I can say the gold standard system, this was a system where the amount of money in circulation was supposed to be equal to the total amount of gold deposited in World Bank altogether. So by this time, the total amount of gold deposited in World Bank. Now what happened? Countries that did not have enough gold had a few money in circulation, which meant that people didn't have money to start up businesses, which businesses could have provided employment opportunities to the people. And this led to the economic depression. Then, USA policy of isolationism and protectionism. USA practice what you call protectionism. This is an economic strategy where a country protects domestic industries from outside competition. What USA did, it refused citizens within America to buy goods outside. It was a lead economic strategy. But the problem was one. USA, which had money, was not allowing citizens to buy from other countries. This meant other countries were not benefiting from America. Moreover, America was benefiting from them. So it is this that led to the economic depression. Because a country that had money was not allowing citizens to buy from outside. Another one, the failure of the League of Nations to promote economic cooperation. We believe by this time, when USA practiced what we call protectionism, the League of Nations, which was formed in 1920 to promote peace and to build the economy of countries, it failed to prevent USA from practicing what we call protectionism. So it is this that led to the economic depression, because countries needed to cooperate with America to survive. But the League of Nations failed to stop the hard American policies, and this led to the economic depression. The post-war labor conditions also led to the economic what? Depression. We believe that during the war, a number of capable and experienced labor force officers and men were either killed or destroyed altogether in terms of the body parts altogether. So by this, it is this that created inefficiency in production, because citizens who had the ability to produce were what? Were killed, and others lost their body parts. So this meant that the labor force which was there was not productive, was not what? Productive. And this led to the economic depression. Then, the persistent problem of unemployment. I can say